December 16th at 207 West 6th Street. Call to order, roll call. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Identify possible conflicts of interest. Seeing none, move on to item D, public comment period correspondence. At this time, I'll recognize members of the public wishing to address the council. Upon recognition by me, persons may address the council first stating their name and address. Comments will be limited to no more than 5 minutes, and persons are asked to be respectful when addressing the council. No action will be taken regarding items not on the agenda. However, the council will take comments from the public under advisement. Please note that council members will not respond to your comments or questions. Are there any public comments this evening? Are there any public comments this evening? Seeing no public comments, move on to item E, approval of minutes from October 28th, 2025 closed session and December 9th, 2025 regular meeting. We have a motion by Alderman Fire, second by Alderman Giles. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, please vote.
Mr. Werman?
Yes.
Mrs. Spiros?
Yes.
Mr. Rigel?
Aye.
That motion is approved. Thank you. Item F, staff updates.
Thank you, Mayor. We have one. Our Finance Director, Jennifer Zielinski, will be giving a report following up on a request made by Councilmember O'Reilly recently.
Good evening. I am planning to update you on the spending order for capital projects and what happens when we allocate a certain amount of money to a budget and it comes in under that, what funding sources get used. For this, I've actually drafted a policy, which you'll see in early January, but I can give you the gist of it now. We'll essentially follow fund balance classifications, and spending will follow those with the most restricted sources down to the least restricted sources. So if we have a project that is funded with a grant, that would be the first revenue source that would be spent down, followed by restricted donations. If there's a project within a TIF, that would be the third item, the increment that's generated within that district. Next would be transfers from special revenue funds. So you can think of our EDB funding projects in Parks and Rec. That's where this sort of funding would fall into play. If the project is within an enterprise fee fund, then those fees would be utilized first because we want those projects within those funds to be funded by the users. Next in the hierarchy would be our debt funding, and then last would be, as a last resort, would be the general fund. So this will also come into play with the donations policy that I hope that you will see in early January, where it will outline some more related to the donations piece and how we set up agreements and whether or not those are restricted. So just kind of a preview of what's to come in January.
Thank you, Jennifer. Seeing no more staff updates?
That's it for staff updates tonight.
Okay, thank you. Mayor's comments. First, with the cold weekend, I'm recognizing the fire department for fighting that horrible fire and also praying for the family. Thank you, gentlemen, for all that you've done and do, and ladies. The street department did a fabulous job removing the snow from that 4 to 5 inches. I couldn't believe it when I got up the next morning and it was already cleaned off and everything was great. So kudos to the street department. And the Rotary Winter Wonderland, can you believe it? They actually went full bore that evening, even in the frigid weather. So how great is that? What a great city. 3 great things that happened over this very cold weekend, and we can be proud of ourselves. And also, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. And that ends my report for the evening and for the year. Item H, council comments. Alderman Werman.
Thank you. I just wanted to congratulate Jess Schiffrel, our own city clerk, and her family. Jess had a post recently. It was really cool to see that she got to administer the oath of office for her own daughter, Charlotte, for a recruit firefighter paramedic position. Just thought it was a really cool situation, and it's one of the cool opportunities where you see how you being in something like this political landscape can really affect your family and future generations. So congratulations, Jess and the Shifro family.
Thank you, Derek. And Rebecca's, I think we should give him her round of applause. It was a great ceremony. Steve and I attended, and it was
Very nice.
dynamic. Two other gentlemen also got pinned that day, so it was a beautiful morning. Yes, thank you.
It was.
Any other council comments? Seeing none, city administrators update.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple things. First of all, I think we've been following what's going on with the airport terminal, that we will be raising that building. However, a recent survey found out that there is asbestos in the ceiling tiles and the floor tiles, so there'll have to be some remediation done, some removal there before the activity can occur. It was planned for January 3rd, but now it'll be backed up. But we will be pursuing that, and we will keep you posted on a new date as we're become aware of it. Secondly, I want to report something really good. We've got news that our workers' compensation rate, our MOD rating for 2026 is going to go down from 1.21 to 1.08. That will mean a lower premium for us for workers' compensation. But more importantly, it reflects the fact that the people at Spectrum who work for us on our behalf in insurance, and our person from MUW, Sean Wall, Sarah and Peggy in our HR, and all the department and division heads working together, trying to control workers' compensation costs through proper handling of claims and through trying to minimize safety hazards. We want to continue that. So that's something I want to celebrate this evening, and I would ask you to do the same. Also on strategic planning, we have the meeting set up for the 17th and 31st of January. Just a reminder, there are 3 of you, I believe, that have not yet confirmed with me your availability for those dates. I will send out another email tomorrow. I meant to do that last Wednesday after the last meeting, just trying to nail down who can be there and who can't as we get ready for those meetings in mid to late January. And then finally, kind of echoing what the mayor said, I want to just thank everybody for a great year, city council and staff working together, and wish everybody a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you, Steve. Item J, reports from commissions, boards, and committees. Seeing none, consent agenda, meeting minutes and reports. We have a motion by Alderman Varsho, second by Alderman Dellis. Any questions, comments? Seeing none,
We need
please.
to read these into the record before we can vote.
Okay. We will start with the Judiciary and Licensing Committee meeting, which was on December 16th, which is today at 4:45.
Yes, so the Judiciary and Licensing Committee meeting was called to order by Chairperson Varsho at 4:45 p.m. in the council chambers at City Hall. Present were Alderpersons Brian Varsho, Scott Coran, Rebecca Spiros via Zoom. Also present were Alderperson O'Reilly, Police Chief Goering, and City Clerk Schifferl. There were no citizen comments. Motion was made by Coran and a second by Spiros to approve the minutes of the December 2nd, 2025 meeting. That motion carried. Motion was made by Alderperson Coran, seconded by Spiros to approve by unanimous consent the following item. An application for a secondhand jewelry license from Jewelers Palette LLC located at 242 South Central Avenue and Christensen's Jewelers located at 1823 North Central Avenue. Application for garbage and refuse collector license from Harder's Expert Disposal, 1241 Menominee Street of Eau Claire, and an application for an auto salvage scrap metal dealer license from Asylum Scrap Services at 2304 South Galvin Avenue. That motion carried. There was a motion by Alderperson Spiros, seconded by Coran, to approve the application for an auto salvage dealer license from Leonard's Small Auto Sales located at 305 West 14th Street. That motion carried. There were no future agenda items. There was a motion by Spiros, second by Coran, to adjourn the meeting at 4:49 p.m. Up next, I have the minutes of the Finance Budget Personnel Committee, which was also held tonight, December 16th, 2025, in the council chambers, called to order by Vice Chairperson Coran at 5 o'clock p.m. Present were Alderpersons Brian Varsho, Scott Coran, Brian Giles, Rebecca Spiros via Zoom, and Mike O'Reilly. No one was absent. Also present were Mayor T-Strike, Alderpersons Fire and Dellis, and city personnel Steve Bard, Sarah Dressel, Jennifer Zielinski, Jessica Schifferl, and Everett Mueller. There were no conflicts of interest. There were also no citizen comment. A motion was made by Varsho, second by Giles, to approve the items of the consent agenda, including the minutes of the December 2nd, 2025 meeting, and bills in the amount of $1,403,638.95. That motion carried. A motion by Giles and a second by Spiros to recommend council approval of budget resolution number 25-2025, changes to the 2025 budget. Alderperson Tompkins arrived at the meeting at 5:13 p.m. There was a motion by Alderperson O'Reilly, second by Varsho, to recommend council approval of resolution number 2025-39, adopting the city's 2026 fee schedule. Motion by O'Reilly, second by Varsho, to recommend council approval of resolution number 2025-40, continuing communications. Motion by O'Reilly, second by Giles, to adjourn to closed session under Wisconsin statutes 19.85 pran 1E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, specifically to discuss a memorandum of understanding with Marathon County. A roll call vote was taken, and we adjourned to closed session at 5:29 p.m. Present in closed session were Alderpersons Varsho, Cran, Giles, Spiros, and O'Reilly, City Administrator Barg, Jessica Schiffrel, and Alderpersons Fire, Tompkins, and Dellett. Motion was made by Varsho and a second by O'Reilly to return to open session at 5:42 p.m. The motion carried. A motion by O'Reilly and a second by Varsho to recommend council approval to direct the city attorney to work with the city clerk to negotiate a memorandum of understanding with Marathon County Corporate Counsel and Marathon County Clerk. There were no future agenda items. A motion by O'Reilly and a second by Varsho to adjourn the meeting at 5:44.
Thank you. Board of Public Works?
I'm reading it. I can. I can, I guess. I can. I think if I understand what's writing here, I can do that.
Boy.
I'm just looking at the initials that you've given me. The meeting was called to order by Alderman Fire at 5:45 p.m. in the council chambers of City Hall. Present, Jen Dallas, Mike Fire, Derek Werman, Andrew Reigel via Zoom, Natasha Tompkins. Absent none. Also present, Acting Public Works Director Moritz, I should say, Acting City Engineer Cassidy, Wastewater Superintendent Kivala, Mayor T-Strake, and Jody Grink and Travis Esser from PD. A motion by Dallas, second by Reigel to recommend approval of the minutes of the December 2nd, 2025 Board of Public Works meeting. All ayes, motion carried. Citizen comments were made by Leadership Marshfield. Motion by Werman, second by Tompkins to recommend approval of the sign location on public property as presented. Additionally, approve the donation request. All ayes, motion carried. Motion by Dallas, second by Werman to recommend approval to increase the lateral replacement reimbursement from $1,000 to $1,500 beginning in 2026, including an additional $500 for laterals that are greater than 90 feet in length or 12 feet in depth. All ayes, motion carried. Motion by Tompkins, second by Dallas to recommend approval of the right-of-way plat and relocation order and refer to the Common Council for consideration, further authorizing the Acting Public Works Director to sign the right-of-way plat on behalf of the city. Motion by Dallas, second by all ayes, motion carried. Motion by Dallas, second by Tompkins to recommend approval of the proposal from Terra Venture Advisors of Eau Claire, Wisconsin for real estate acquisition services for the Vine Avenue and 4th Street reconstruction projects and authorize execution of an agreement. All ayes, motion carried. Motion by Reigel, second by Dallas to recommend approval of the certified survey map and dedication of right-of-way on 22nd Street, contingent upon positive feedback from the Plan Commission, and refer Resolution 2025-38 to the Common Council for consideration. All ayes, motion carried. Motion by Dallas, second by Werman to recommend approval of the request for proposals for construction manager services for the Wildwood Plaza renovation for the new police department project and authorize staff to solicit proposals. All ayes, motion carried. There were no recommended items for future agendas. With no further business, the meeting was adjourned at 6:13 p.m. And that's Josh Moritz, Secretary, Board of Public Works. Next up, and the final one, is the City Plan Commission meeting from earlier tonight. Present, Mayor T-Strake, Councilmember O'Reilly, Commissioners Jake Bernardi, John Caprillion, and Jocelyn Mitchell, I should say. Absent Rita Meyer and Kim Frederick. Others present, City Administrator Steve Barg, City Planner James Levin, Acting Public Works Director Josh Moritz, Acting City Engineer Tim Cassidy, and Wastewater Superintendent Mark Kivala. Mayor Teestrate called the meeting to order at 6:31 p.m. in the City Hall Council chambers. Mitchell moved and Bernardi seconded a motion to approve the meeting agenda. Motion carried. O'Reilly moved and Bernardi seconded a motion to approve minutes from the October 21st, 2025 Plan Commission meeting as presented. Motion carried. Conflict of interest, there were none, and there were no citizen comments either. There's a public hearing on a conditional use permit request by Michael Harbert, representing Panda Express Inc., to allow construction of a drive-through restaurant building located northwest of Central Avenue and southeast of Peach Avenue on parcel number 250-2603-333-0962. There were no public comments. Under discussion, Mitchell asked about the significance of reducing the stacking requirement. Levin noted that this is an internal issue that impacts how efficiently sales can be completed in drive-through. Caprillion moved and O'Reilly seconded a motion to approve the conditional use request by Panda Express to allow a deviation from the required forward stacking distance under City Code Section 18-58, sub 9, sub G, for a proposed restaurant with drive-through facilities located at the southeast corner of Northeast Peach Avenue, North Central Avenue, and Peach Court. Parcel number 250-2603-333-0962. Zone community mixed use with the following condition. A certified survey map establishing the development parcel shall be submitted to and approved by the city prior to issuance of zoning or building permits. Discussion was raised regarding not having sidewalks and municipal sanitary sewer. This is regarding, I'm sorry, I'm out of, I don't have this quite right. This was regarding a preliminary plat for a subdivision of the northwest corner of West McMillan Street and St. Joe's. I don't have that right on my minutes here as far as noting that, and I'll pick that up later. But questions were raised regarding not having sidewalks and municipal sanitary sewer. Barg advised that the concern would be noted, but that these issues will be brought before the Board of Public Works for consideration. There was a motion by O'Reilly, second by Mitchell to table the proposal pending further development or further information to be provided by the developer. Motion carried. O'Reilly moved and Mitchell seconded a motion to approve the master sign plan request by Jill Rolig with Elevate 97 signs, representing Weinbrenner Thorogood Shoes for new signage on their site at 3705 South Cherry Avenue, parcel 33-03548-2 Zone Industrial Park, based on the following. Number one, all proposed signage is allowed as presented. Number two, all signage that conforms with Chapter 24 can be administratively approved. Number three, any new signage that does not comply with Chapter 24 will need to be granted an exception by the Plan Commission, and this master sign plan be amended. And number four, subject to approval of the Mill Creek Business Park Covenant Committee. Levin briefly highlighted a request made by the city for consideration of approving a certified survey map, which includes dedication of right-of-way for East 22nd Street, located to the east of the intersection of South Nikolai Avenue and East 22nd Street. No action was required and no comments were received from the commission. There were no staff updates or items for future agendas. Without objection, Mayor Teestrate declared the meeting adjourned at 7:09 p.m. Respectfully submitted, City Administrator Steve Barg, and I do apologize for my struggle there in the middle. I will get that cleared up.
Thank you. We have a motion by Alderman Varsho, second by Alderman Dellis. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, we are here to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor, please vote.
Mr. Werman?
Yes.
Mrs. Spiros?
yes,
Mr. Rigel?
Motion approved. Thank you. And we have no action taken, so we'll go on to item M, request to approve budget resolution number 25-2025, 2025 budget changes presented by Jennifer Solinsky, Finance Director.
Good evening. The city makes general fund appropriations at the major expenditure program level in its annual budget. The major expenditure program levels are general government, public works, public safety, health and human services, culture and rec, conservation and development, and other financing uses. An amendment to the budget utilizing the general fund contingency account also requires a budget resolution. All of our other funds are budgeted at the total expense level. Any items that are in violation of our budgetary level of control are disclosed in the footnotes of our audited financial statements. I have before you this evening 5 items, and these would be, you can think of this as a cleanup budget resolution for events that occurred subsequent to the passage of the 2025 budget. The first item relates to the city's room tax collection for hotels and short-term rentals. These are accounted for in our room tax fund, and 70% of the revenue is remitted to our tourism commission, and then 30% is transferred to the Parks and Rec Capital Outlay Fund. Collections for 2025 will exceed the 2025 budgeted amount, and therefore we need a resolution, excuse me, in order to increase the expenditures for professional services of $70,000 and the transfer to the capital project fund account of $30,000. The second item tonight relates to our Daniel subdivision and our developers agreements that are executed when a lot is sold. Part of those agreements state that if the developer, for any reason, does not fulfill the terms of that agreement, the city will buy back the lot that was originally sold. This is recorded in the Economic Development Fund, and we have money set aside in a reserve specifically for this purpose. Therefore, I'm recommending an increase in the Economic Development Fund land account of $40,915. Third, at the time of the 2025 budget, expenditures related to the 2025 borrowing and investment account management fees were unknown. Proceeds from the issuance are used to pay the borrowing fees, and investment revenue earned is used to pay for the management fees. Therefore, I'm recommending an increase in the debt service fund fiscal agent charges account of $105,000. Fourth, the city closed its tax increment district number 5. There were remaining debt service payments that needed to be paid. We ended up transferring that money to the debt service fund. However, I had budgeted for those payments to come out of the TID account. So therefore, I'm recommending an increase in the debt service fund's principal account of $40,000 and the interest account of $3,564. Lastly, this will relate to the city's TID 13. In 2024, we began construction on our infrastructure that was not completed until 2025. The whole value of that project was budgeted in 2024 and did not carry over into 2025. And additionally, within that TIF district, financial incentives were agreed upon in a development agreement, but they were not budgeted as the payment timing and amount weren't known. The funding source for that incentive is rebates in the amount of $95,664. And therefore, I'm recommending an increase in TID 13's fund repairs and maintenance services account of $380,000 and TID 13 financial incentives of $96,664. So with that, I would recommend council approval of Budget Resolution 25-2025.
We have a motion by Alderman Tompkins, second by Alderman Fire. Any questions, comments from the council? Seeing none, please vote.
Mr. Werman,
Yes.
Mrs. Spiros,
yes,
Mr. Rigel.
Aye.
That motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item N, request to approve process to refill the vacant office of municipal court judge presented by Steve Barg, city administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, Judge Cruz submitted his resignation as our municipal court judge effective January 9th. I first of all want to thank Judge Cruz for his many years of service to the community in that role. Much appreciated. For those of you who haven't been a part of this, just a quick history, we did make this a joint municipal court back in 2015 when we added the village of Spencer. And then 2 years later, we added the village of Stratford. The joint court is good for both of them. They don't have to have their residents and their law enforcement going to the county seat of Marathon County. They can come here to have the traffic and ordinance violations dealt with more convenient for them. So it's been a good working relationship for everybody. Staff notified both the villages of Spencer and Stratford of Judge Cruz's resignation, so they're aware of it. And I've had meetings and discussions with Jessica, our city clerk, and Attorney Wolfram, our city attorney, and a lot of conversations going back and forth with the Wisconsin Elections Commission and Wood County to try and figure out what we do here. The options have included both special elections and appointment that we've been discussing. I mentioned the city clerk. She has been in contact with other authorities, including the Wisconsin Elections Commission. They've been very helpful in this issue. The WEC representative actually provided a response that's very helpful tonight as we talk about how to move forward. Because the judge serves 3 different municipalities, appointment being made, if we make a special appointment temporarily, must be approved by all 3 municipalities. Then the office must be filled by a special election for the remainder of the unexpired term after that. So when does it happen? When does the special election occur? Well, if the effective date of the judge's resignation had been before the end of this month, an election could have been held in conjunction with the spring primary in April. That's no longer possible. A standalone election after that date, but before any other elections, is possible, but all 3 municipalities would have to agree to hold one, and quite frankly, that would be an expense that would be borne by the municipalities and not something we would recommend. And in fact, in discussing it with the clerks of those 2 municipalities today, both indicated that they agreed to that they wouldn't want to see the special election with the cost that brings. So in that case, we'd have to wait until the fall election cycle, meaning the August 11th primary. That's when we would look at holding the special election. To accomplish this, all municipalities would have to file an order between April 11th and May 11th to do so. And again, if there were no primary required on August 11th, then we would move to the main election, the general election on November 3rd. So here's staff recommendation for you to consider tonight on how to move forward. First of all, we have all 3 bodies seek approval at their next regular meeting. So that would mean for Stratford, it would be the same as the city. It would be the January 13th. And for Spencer, it would be their village board meeting the night before on January 12th. We'd be looking for them to authorize moving forward with advertising for an appointment on a temporary basis to fill the position of municipal court judge. Then if that worked, then on January 14th, after all 3 of those approvals, we could advertise the appointment. We would take for about 2.5 weeks responses. And again, just to note that the respondents, they have to be licensed attorneys, and they would also have to live within the corporate boundaries of one of the 3 municipalities, either the city of Marshfield or the village of Stratford or Spencer, in order to be eligible. Subsequently, then, right after that, at the beginning of February, we'd have a joint team made up of 3 city representatives and 1 each from Stratford and Spencer meet to review any responses and decide if they want to interview anybody. After that, ultimately, then a recommendation would be made to all 3 governing bodies, hopefully soon thereafter. And then, as I mentioned, that would be the appointment effective to carry us through temporarily until someone is chosen from a special election. And as I mentioned earlier, from mid-May to mid-April to mid-May, the municipalities would then have to file for the fall election. As I mentioned again, on August 11th, it could be at the primary, or November 3rd, if there was no primary, it would go to the general election in the fall. Filing for a new four-year term would begin on December 1st, and there would be another election on April 6th of 2027. So whoever's elected in the special election will not be for a long period of time before the next regular election after that term is filled out. So with that in mind, that would be staff's recommendation. If the council feels it to be acceptable, I would take any other comments that you have. Otherwise, we would suggest moving forward with the two municipalities in that fashion.
We have a motion by Alderman Tompkins, second by Alderman Giles. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, please vote.
Mr. Werman,
Yes.
Mrs. Spiros,
yes,
Mr. Rigel.
Aye.
That motion passes. Thank you for all your hard work, both of you. Thank you very much. Item O, suggested items for future agendas. Seeing none, item P, adjourn to closed session under Wisconsin Statute Chapter 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Request for financial assistance for proposed residential development project. And closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute Chapter 19.851C, considering employment promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over with the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, promotion, compensation adjustments to positions. We have a motion by Alderman Dellis, second by Alderman O'Reilly to go into closed session. Please vote to go into closed session.
Mr. Werman,
Yes.
Mrs. Spiros,
aye.
Mr. Rigel.
Aye.
We'll move right into closed session.